We play a lot of Phasmophobia on Eurogamer, and in between the screaming and jump scares, we've learned a fair few advanced Phasmophobia tips. With the addition of child ghosts, new mechanics and fixed tools, there's plenty that you're going to want to know if you want to rack up the cash as a paranormal investigator and spend as little time as possible in the foggy, cursed afterlife. So, here's 20 advanced Phasmophobia tips that will hopefully keep you alive. When you're just starting a ghost hunt, it can be a pain to narrow down exactly what you're going to take with you on your first foray into the house, as you can only hold 3 things at once, and one of them pretty much has to be a torch. To save going back to the truck, keep equipment in the house, as you can then move it around easily too when you find the ghost room, instead of having to shuttle between the truck and the house. Getting enough cameras around the house takes a lot of money, and also knowing where the ghost room is, which is definitely tricky in the bigger maps. For those of you that have enough cash, invest in some headcams, have your friends / ghostbait wear them, and keep someone in the truck to watch their feeds and spot ghost orbs when people are on the move. Bonus points if you're the one staying nice and safe in the truck. Ouija boards might drain your sanity, but damn, they're handy at figuring out whether a demon is hot on your heels or not. Using the Ouija board can also tempt a ghost to hunt, so it's a good idea to use the Ouija board right on the brink of the entrance to the property, so you can back out if the ghost starts hunting, avoiding being trapped inside with it, and therefore escaping those horrid hands crawling across your screen. No longer can you depend on a good old-fashioned flickering torch to tell whether a hunt is going on. I mean, get close to a ghost and your torch will start to flicker, but when you're further away, your torch will remain on, and you'll be blissfully unaware that somewhere else a murderous deadie is out for blood. So, a new foolproof way to see whether a hunt is ongoing is to periodically turn on your walkie-talkie. Hear static rather than radio silence or your friends talking, and a ghost is on the prowl somewhere in the building. A torch is a good way to narrow down where the ghost is when it's hunting, as it'll flicker the closer you get to the spectre. But also keep an ear out for humming, crying, and singing, as some ghosts are pretty noisy. You can often hear these noises through ceilings and floors, especially in the asylum, so ignore the lessons of every horror movie ever made and head towards the bad noises. There's a bit of confusion about how the spirit box works, so let me just clear things up. To contact the other side, ensure that all the lights in the room, except for torches, are turned off, or you won't be getting anything from the ghosts watching over your shoulder. Shy ghosts will only respond if there's one person in the room with the spirit box, again with all the lights except the torches turned off. One of the semi-regular goals on the board in the truck is to prevent a ghost from hunting, in which case you'll need a crucifix. For a long time it was thought that throwing the crucifix on the ground was the only way to prevent a ghost from hunting, but holding the crucifix also works to prevent a hunt as long as you're close enough to the ghost's spawn point. Blinking lights can indicate a successfully stopped hunt, in case you need any confirmation that you've done it right and can't be bothered or are too far away to go and check in the truck. The EMF reader's lights don't just tell you the severity of the ghost you're dealing with, but also what it's up to. The first green light indicates nothing is going on. The second means it's interacting with an object. The third yellow light comes on when a ghost has thrown an object. The fourth orange light signals the ghost manifesting itself, i.e. turning up in all its disturbing glory, and the fifth red light counts as evidence in your journal and on the board goals. Also means you should probably hide sharpish because this ghost is clearly pretty close to you. Don't sleep on the parabolic microphone, as, yeah, it did used to be a bit janky, but with the consequent updates, it's really handy when you're in huge maps and have no idea where the ghost is. Pay attention to the numbers on the screen and keep an eye out for a reading of 3.5, as that's what the undead generally emit. Basically, the higher the number, the greater chance the ghost room is in that direction. Just make sure you use a slow, sweeping motion to get readings, as there is a short delay in them appearing on the screen. 3.5 Those of you who are new to professional difficulty, you ought to know that the fuse box starts turned off, so you'll need to find it and turn it on. Getting the power up and running is pretty important, as without it there's no heating, meaning all the rooms are 5 degrees Celsius, making it much harder to identify the ghost room. With the heating on, you'll be able to find the suspiciously cold room a lot easier. Torches and radios let you detect hunts, yeah, but these tools can also let the ghost detect you during a hunt, even if it doesn't have line of sight to see you. Turn off all of the electronics you have on you during a hunt, or the ghost will use them to track you down. Mind you, lighters, spirit books and glow sticks are all safe to have and to hold. Desperation is a feeling I am very much familiar with during hunts, and if you panic as quickly as me, here's a tip. You can burn smudge sticks to try to escape. Burning a smudge stick will cause the ghost to wander aimlessly if it's nearby for about 5 seconds, whether it's in your hand or on the ground. While the ghost is trying to figure out what the hell is going on, it won't attack anyone, and you can even walk through it without perishing, giving you a precious sliver of time to hide in a closet or a locker. Telling when you've successfully prevented a hunt can be tricky if one of you isn't in the truck keeping an eye on your objectives. All you need to do to figure out whether you just saved your own skin is to listen out for that sighing sound, which means a ghost thought better of hunting. A while back there was an update that specified that ghosts can now open doors, so let me again clarify which doors you should be holding shut. Hiding in a closet or a locker is a good choice, as you can hold these doors closed to prevent the ghost from opening them. However, holding room doors closed is useless, as the ghost can just pass through them. So, if in doubt, hide in a closet, not a room. Having 2 of you in there, each holding a closet door, is even better, as ghosts can sometimes open 2 doors at once. Powerful. One of the issues I have with Phasmophobia is that when you're dead, it's kind of hard to help your friends in any way. One thing you can do to make their job easier though, and hopefully prevent them from joining you in the foggy land of the dead, is direct them to the ghost room. In spirit form, there is fog everywhere, but the ghost room will be filled with a thicker, denser fog. Use objects to lead your team to the correct place if they've got it wrong, and just pray that they understand your silent hovering of beer bottles or teddies. In amateur and intermediate difficulties, you get 5 or 2 minutes to set up the location before the ghost starts doing its thing. Stumble upon a Ouija board and get a bit too excited about turning it on though, and you'll throw all that prep time away, as using it before the prep time is up has a 1 in 3 chance to end the setup phase, anger the spirit, and cause it to start haunting. Lights being turned on during your attempts to use the spirit box can be very irritating, but instead of turning them off to get a response from the ghost, bear in mind that if all the lights are being turned off constantly, the ghost in question is probably a djinn. Conversely, lights being turned off without you needing to touch them, yeah, makes it very convenient for using spirit boxes, but also means you might be dealing with a mare. This is the tip you need to bear in mind if you like using the big maps like the asylum, the prison, and the high school, where it can be difficult to find the ghost room just because the locations are so big. Once you've searched rooms, make sure to close the doors again so the ghost has to open them. You can also measure the temperature of a room through a closed door to save some time. Then, when you circle back round to the area, any open doors clue you in that the ghost room might be nearby. Look, we can't all have money to throw around in Phasmophobia. I get it. You might just be starting out, or in the middle of an unfortunate losing streak. Don't worry if you're low on cash though, as glow sticks can work as small UV lights if your team needs to find some fingerprint evidence and you only have 1 UV light to share. This is great for covering ground quickly near the end of the session when fingerprints are the last bit of evidence you need, and also gives a bit of a party atmosphere, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And that's 20 advanced Phasmophobia tips you need to stay alive. If you enjoyed the video, thanks very much, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Eurogamer, as we have a new video out every single day. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go, so remember to stay hydrated folks, and I'll see you next time.